As you hear this bell ringing, invite in spirit into your space, your physical space and your inner space. Welcome to Spirit and Heart Time. I'm Deepa and I'm the Creative Mystic. And this is my studio. I'm Deepa Liu. I'm the Creative Mystic. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm a spiritual soul seeker looking to have divine spiritual experiences. Are you? Are you a person really wanting to have those direct spiritual experiences? Are you creative? Are you wanting to be creative? I do too. So if you're wanting to have direct spiritual experiences, creativity, and you're looking to grow spiritually, maybe you're looking to develop your spiritual gifts, or maybe you're wanting deeper understanding of the spiritual truth, you're in the right place. Spirit and Art Time is all about helping you to like see a little bit about my process, a peek into my process really, and learn what I've learned from this process of combining creativity and spirituality. So it's all about, how do we actually help you grow spiritually, access your creativity, which actually helps grow your gifts, awakens your spiritual gifts, and helps you have deeper understanding. Because what I've seen with creating art, when you're creating, you're connecting to higher power. All great artists talk about how they get in this flow, and it's the flow of the divine. So, Spirit and Art Time is about that. But more importantly, it's about you as a highly sensitive, creative, spiritual seeker, mystic, bringing you together with other highly sensitive, creative, spiritual seekers, mystics, because that creates a synergy. And when you create a synergy, that helps you. It helps you in connection with spirit. It helps you with getting that deeper understanding. It helps you in so many different ways that people don't understand. I have found that when you create art, and your art might not be painting, it might be drawing, it might be writing, it might be woodwork, whatever it is, macrame, whatever thing you love to make, you love to create. It's a way, it can be a spiritual practice, a way of connecting with your divine spirit. Okay. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I was a person that was non-visual, and until I started accessing my creativity, actually creating on a consistent basis and combining it with spiritual practices, I would see nothing in meditations. If there was a guided meditation and they said, visualize a golden ball of light or see the rose, I'd see nothing. Not a thing, okay? And it wasn't until I got the creative desire, and it was a creative desire. I got a creative desire to actually start to paint high spiritual souls with the intention of like people being able to feel their energy, that I started to get this gift of vision of being able to see these spirit guides in my meditation and getting the download of why they wanted me to paint them and create them here to bless you. So I want to help you to have that experience of awakening whatever spiritual gift you're supposed to be welcoming in, because that gift is here to actually help you to manifest whatever it is that you have in your heart's desires to bring onto the planet. So it could be that maybe just a challenge you want to overcome, and it's really a heart's desire to overcome it. But it also could be the purpose of why you're here on the planet, because we are all here for a purpose. All right. So let's get going into my art studio and what we're going to share and do today. So one of the things I'm curious about that I had put up in my community post today was about what's your particular challenge in doing creativity on a consistent basis? Because I know for me, I've had my own challenges being consistent, even though I love it. Like when I paint, I feel like so happy. And even when I'm not painting after in the day when I painted, later I can feel the joy in my heart. And so this is one of the reasons why it's so important to do creativity. So I'm curious what your biggest challenge is. I'd love to hear what that is. And feel free to put it in the comments. And also, what medium you use in your creativity. Do you have a certain thing you love to do? Do you love painting or woodwork or whatever it is? I'd love to see what that is too, because that way, if I understand your challenges, I can do future videos or lives that may help you with that challenge. So love it if you want to put it in the chat. It's helps me to help you, because that's what I'm all about, is how can I be of better service. So, and one of the things about doing this, it's about, like I said, the importance of synergy, about creating, a group of people, bringing us together so that you get the benefit of other people's energies. Because when you're left to yourself, it can be more challenging. Okay. And that's one of the things. If you like what you see here or like any of my videos and you'd like to be involved more in this group energy, I'm going to be launching a membership in the future in 2025. So feel free to go to my membership wait list. I'm going to put this up here, and you can actually sign up on my wait list in case at some point you want to become a member of my community, because it's going to be all about helping you to, one, have deeper understanding of the spiritual truth, have that synergy of community that's going to help you energetically and also physically, and then also with how do you actually start to manifest your purpose, your calling, that thing that you might feel like is missing in your life. Like, how do you start to do that? Okay. So today, you notice I started with ringing a bell. And why do I ring that bell? Because that bell invites in spirit. And that's one of the first things I do, is I consciously invite in higher power. I ring the bell, and that tradition started in India, where they ring the bell to say, hello, God. And so if you call your higher power God, Buddha, Allah, spirit, the universe, whatever it is, like, you invite that energy in and into your space physically and inwardly. Okay. So you're going to see me always starting with that. And then I'm going to share with you some of what my process or my spiritual ahas that come from either my spiritual practices or as I'm painting, and that I'm going to share with one of those today with you. Okay. And the biggest one that I want to share with you, if you're creative, if you're somebody who loves to create things and grow spiritually, is that the aha, and this is an aha I had many years ago, and it's something that I continually have to practice. And this is the one. It is about, you have to be willing to suck to be great. You have to be willing to be crummy at something to be great. You have to go through the process of it. So I don't know about you. I'd love to see in the chat, but I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm wondering if you are. It's something where I've really had to learn how to let go of things being perfect, because perfection can get you stuck. It can create creative blocks. It can do all these things that do not help you in that connection to higher power and in being in the flow for your creations. So I'd say put it up on the wall if you have a problem with perfectionism, or I'm going through the process of letting something look crummy. And the thing about art that I find is that it is something that um, has an ugly stage, and that can be challenging. Now, today I got a download. I'm going to do something totally different than I normally do. The way I usually do my spirit guide portals is I'm meditating, a vision comes in of a spirit guide. I see that guide. It gives me why they want to be created into a portal. I make these spirit guide portals, and you can see a couple of them back there and that one over here, of like what the intuitive guidance is, the message, and the blessing, which is about the energy that they're bringing onto the planet and bringing to you, because they really want to bless you in helping you to overcome those challenges and manifest your heart's desires, your purpose of why you're here on the planet. So what I do is I would get that vision, and then I would take a canvas and I would sketch it out like just a rough sketch, not an actual drawing, but where I wanted kind of what I saw. These are a couple of examples. The thing is that when I get these visions, I get them faster than I can paint them. So I end up sketching them down on a canvas or on paper until I can get to painting the next one. Because painting is not the only thing I do. I paint, but I'm also a spiritual mentor coach where I help people actually have that deeper understanding of spiritual truth and how do you apply it so you can manifest what your heart's desires are. So I have to like have a method. Okay. So this has been my method of doing it for quite a while now, quite a few years. Okay. But in sadhana, I got this download. I got this download to actually, today we're going to do it. I have not tried it. And this is the part that's the growth factor for me. See, because about growing spiritually is you have to be willing to do things that sometimes you're not comfortable with doing. And so I got the download in my meditation the other day to actually take a clean canvas, one with absolutely nothing on it. And that's this. It has nothing on it. And we're going to put it up here. And instead of me drawing anything out, I'm going to pray over the canvas, do my ritual of what I do when I start to create a spirit guide portal, pray over it. I'm going to do a chant. And then I'm going to sit for a little bit and meditate and just see what comes to me. Now, my intuition works in different ways. I get visions, but I also I have a feeling nature. I'm an empath. So if you're highly sensitive or an empath, this could be something that, could be really good for you. Now, I'm going to invite you, if you'd like to do this with me. And now here's the great thing is nobody's going to see yours. But I was brought up to lead with my competence, to be competent, to do everything perfect, to the best of my ability. And so it would make me really uncomfortable, and still does, to let someone see my process of what I go through to make a spirit guide portal, because I didn't like people to see if I was having a challenge. Now, I do my best to move my little self aside, my ego self, and let spirit flow through me. But I'm human. So sometimes I'm painting and I'm like, something that seems like a mistake to me. And then that's a stage of the ugly stage, and it gets in there and it kind of holds me back. So today we're probably not going to finish the painting, but we're going to start it. Now, if you're a painter, use your paints. If you're not, just get a piece of paper and a pencil, or colored pencils if you have them, or markers, whatever you feel called to get that you could actually draw with. And you can go through this process with me too. Okay. Now, if you just want to watch and learn, that's great too. Okay. Now, if you're going to be really bold, what I invite you to do is whatever you draw, whatever comes to you, is that you actually post that in the community on my channel, because I would love to see them. And if anybody gets brave enough, if you give me permission, I'll show it, because I find that I did this once in one of my classes about connecting to spirit guides, and people drew amazing things. Now, this isn't about creating great art. I want you to get that, okay? This is about a vibration and energy that you're bringing in. It's not about being classically trained as an artist and making it and doing it in the way that they tell you in art school. This is about connecting with higher power, with spirit, and letting it flow through you and go from there. Now, after we get something on the canvas, we'll go from there. Like I said, I probably won't finish this today in the time that I've allotted for us to do this, but I want to give you a chance to kind of be in the process. Okay. So feel free, if you have questions or anything, put it up here in the comments. I'm going to go over and glance once in a while to see if you've put anything. It's one of the reasons why I set up my system this way, was with the camera over there, my laptop here, so that I could see if you guys put in a question or have a share that you want to do, because again, this is about synergy. Now, it might be a synergy of just you and me, but that's still synergy, okay? Because one or more makes the energy stronger, makes and helps you in your spiritual connection, in your creativity, okay? So What we're going to do now is I got my canvas on the easel, and now you're going to see it. Now you can see I put paper here. Now you might be thinking she puts this paper towels on here because of perfectionism, but it's not. I want to tell you this is a very practical reason. If you're a painter, now I used to paint in an art studio that was public where there would be other painters, and sometimes I would go up to an easel and stick my thing on there, and then there would be paint from the other painter on my painting because it was on the easel. So what I discovered was because for me, I paint more than one spirit guide portal at a time in the sense of I have multiple of them going at the same time. I'm not painting them both with right and left hands, but I'll paint work on one day, set it aside to dry some because maybe there's a technique I need to do or something I need to do when it's drier, and then I work on another one. So they could be different colors, and it gets on the easel and then it would get on the painting and then I'd have to like try to get it off or paint over it. And so the paper towels on there, when I switch to a different portal, I just take off those paper towels, throw them away, and put on new ones. Okay. So if you're a painter, just a little tip to if you paint more than one painting at a time, a way that you can prevent the paint that you get on your easel from getting onto your second painting. And that's why I have the paper on there. Okay. So let's get going. I'm going to turn my chair around. I'm going to do a little prayer. And one of the things that I invite you to do if you want to is I love having a candle or a ghee lamp. This is a ghee lamp. There's ghee in it. You put a wick in there. You can buy them at any Indian store. But I love it because the ghee lamp really has an energy that I don't get a lot of times from candles. But if you've had a candle that's been blessed or they're beeswax, those have good energy too. And I do use those. So I just want to let you know. So we're going to start with a prayer. And then I'm going to ring the bell on my canvas because what I'm doing is I'm invoking the energy of the spirit guide that wants to come forth and wants to be painted on this canvas. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's start with the prayer. And you can do your own if you've got your paper that you're going to draw with or your colored pencils. You can do your own prayer or you can follow along with mine. Okay, so let me start with the prayer. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Great Spirit of the universe, and the Spirit Guide that is here to reveal itself in this canvas and become a portal, a doorway to giving a divine experience, a divine blessing. We ask that our hearts and minds be open and receptive to all the guidance and all the blessings. And we ask that our hearts and minds be open and willing to receive the vibration, the energy and guidance that you are coming through us, that's flowing through us to create spirit on this canvas. Om, peace, amen. And then just sit and be in that energy. Keeping, if you can, behind closed eyelids or eyes closed at an angle at the point between the eyebrows, as if you're looking at a tree in the distance. So, what I keep seeing and sensing is that I'm getting guided to actually mix the color green. Now, here's the thing: is I don't buy a lot of different paint colors. I use a very simple palette of primary colors, and I mix them. So I'm going to mix here real quick a little bit the colors that I got to use, and go from there. So if you are doing this on paper and not mixing colors because you're not painting, I want you to just feel like, what are you getting called to draw? Like, is it like, let the pencil kind of guide your medium, your utensil. So I saw this green color, so I'm going to mix some green right now. And the one thing I love about having or mixing, I should say, the colors is that you can mix all these different shades. So right now I've mixed a pretty dark bluish green. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see here. But I'm going to bring it into a much lighter green by adding more yellow. So one of the things that I've learned with creating art is that as you're creating art, everything it's like a reflection of how you are in the world. You know, it was something I really saw, especially when I worked in the art studio. I painted with other artists. Was that some people would be painting like from fear, always worried about what was going to happen, whether it was going to work, whether it wasn't, and it really helps you to see and become aware if you pay attention. If you become aware of the voice that's going on, like, or the emotion that's going on, the feeling that's going on. So are you feeling like fearful? Are you feeling like worried about making a mistake? You know, I would even catch myself like doing that. Sometimes I'd get to a point in the painting. Happened with Yogananda. That's not the painting of Yogananda. You can kind of see it. It's that's actually just a photo that I painted. I mean, it's a photo of the painting I painted. And when I was painting it, because it was actually the first painting I ever did of a person, when it got to a certain stage and was looking pretty good, I was like, oh no, I don't want to wreck it, you know? And that was at the very beginning of my process that I was getting downloads of like how to do this, what to do with it, and realized that, you know, whenever you make a choice from fear, it never really works out the way you want it to. You know, it doesn't give you the desired results, and it really locks up your life in the sense of it gets you stuck. You know, it's really about how do you just really be the best that you can be and not worry about the results. You know, and this is like I said, for me, this is really about me stepping out of my comfort zone, doing this where I have nothing on the canvas. I'm just going to paint. So the other thing I do when it's the first layer is I use old brushes because the canvas is rough on new brushes. And I also pick brushes that are much firmer and harder because they scrub on the canvas. So if you're spiritually based and you want to see what else can I learn in this spirit and art time, It's about raising your level of awareness so you can start to be aware of what you're feeling, what your emotions are. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to the canvas, and I'm going to ring the bell, inviting in again. So I was seeing green and white, and it seemed like in the image, it was like an angel. And this angel was more like a light angel. It wasn't like it was. Sometimes I see things that actually look like people, but a lot of times what I see are spirit guides that look like light. So this was a light angel. And we're gonna put some of this in here. And what I'm getting is for me to actually mix some of the colors on the canvas. So we're gonna do that too. The biggest thing I've seen with painting and spiritual growth is how much it allows you to take, when you get into the flow of painting with spirit, with higher power, and how often, like when that you do this, it carries over into your daily life. Because I don't know about you, but I find that the biggest practice you have to have when you're on the spiritual path is, I always tell people, it's the practice of remembering the spiritual truths and applying them, the remembering the ahas you have. And I'd love it if you guys share any of your spiritual ahas you have that have helped you to grow, that have helped you to step in that next level. Because that's one of the things that our spirit guides are here for. It's really about how do you grow into that next level that you're supposed to go. So are you supposed to be taking that next level in your job, or maybe you don't like your job and it's about taking that next level into what you're supposed to do next? And what I like about when you're doing this is, I'm obviously not doing things neatly. I'm getting to just put the paint on the canvas, and we're going to work out the details later. So that's why this looks like what I would call for myself one big hot mess. But what I've learned is that if you keep moving forward, often what looks like a hot mess is some of the things that can make something the greatest. So, like, let me give you an example. Years ago, and this was many years ago when I first got on the spiritual path, I was wanting to buy a house before I was 30, and I lived in the Bay Area in California, which is one of the most expensive housing markets around. And always one of the practices I do is I also am a Buddhist. I call myself a Buddhist yogi, and I was making causes and chanting to um, buy a house before I was 30, and I lost my job. And I thought that was the worst thing that could ever happen, was losing that job. I thought, oh my God, I lost my job. Now I'm never going to get a house. And but what happened was, I had been getting told. You ever have that happen where you're getting maybe something getting told, or people are saying it to you time and time again that, oh, maybe you should do something that you've been too afraid to do? Well, I kept being told to go into outside sales, and I was like, I don't want to do that, because I wanted a guaranteed paycheck. And wouldn't do it, wouldn't do it, wouldn't do it. When I got laid off, finally thought, well, at this point, what have I got to lose? Let me do it and see what happens. You know what I mean? So it seemed like the biggest problem and mistake in my life, but it was actually the best thing that ever happened. Like, I just would have never done it if I had kept getting that salaried paycheck. I wouldn't have done it. And when I got laid off, at that point, I was like, what have I got to lose? Let me do it. And then I was able to make enough money to buy my house in a matter of a couple years, put the down payment down when I was 28 because of the fact that I allowed myself to follow the divine guidance I was getting. So I'm going to encourage you, like, is there something that you haven't been letting yourself do that would maybe transform your life? Because it transformed mine. And that happened really with the spirit guides. I was in the spiritual closet, not telling everybody that I started to see spirit guides and kind of keeping it to myself. And then I got to come out of the spiritual closet, and I did. And then other gifts, like me being able to see other people's spirit guides, started coming. So I'd love to also see in comments if anybody who sees this in the recording or who's been on maybe live, like, what is your thing you've been too afraid to do or been really wanting to do, but haven't been able to? Because the biggest thing I see that most people want is they want to trust their intuition. Is that you? Have you wanted to trust your intuition, but you just haven't been able to? Like, there's something you keep feeling like you're supposed to do, but you haven't done. This spirit guide is starting to come through in the energy. They're telling me to tell whoever hears this, whether it's in the recording or whenever you might hear it, that it's time. It's time for you to act on it. In fact, this angel is a version of a healing angel. It's something that it's kind of starting to come through and say now that it wants you to heal whatever it is that's been holding you back. And they said, what? But that's why they're coming now. They're saying that I am coming on the planet to help all those people. And it's actually using me, saying, who have had perfectionism that has kept you stopped. Where you just get frozen because of the fact that you're thinking it needs to be perfect. And he's saying the reason that he or she, he's saying that what needs to be healed is the idea that you have to only be in one of those energies. Because he's saying that right now he's coming as a male energy, because he's saying, I am genderless. I don't have male or female. But today I am showing up as masculine energy because this is about, we want to help you to get into motion, doing. The feminine energy is more receptive. She says, right now, we want to get you moving. We want to get you moving to do something new and different. That's what they're saying. We want to get you doing something new and different. That's the first step. Just do something new and different. You don't have to pick up and do your great big heart's desires that you've been wanting. He just wants you to do something new and different. So I'd love for you to share in the comments if you're looking at this. What is the new and different thing that you are going to do? Because this spirit guide, it hasn't given me a name or anything yet, but it's saying it wants you to do something new and different. And that in itself will start to help you. Just doing something new and different. So I did not know that you were going to get a message with this guide, this spirit guide. She has given me no name at this point and is definitely not complete. But is in the process of being created. So that's the thing. It's wanting to heal the habit of getting stuck, is what he's saying. Is I'm going to help you heal the habit of getting stuck. He says, and you get stuck because you're afraid that you can't do it. You're afraid that you might fail. That energy of fear keeps you stuck. So he is wanting you to actually embrace this fear and saying, be willing to be vulnerable. He's using me as an example. He's saying right now, Deepa is being vulnerable because she doesn't like people seeing her process of a big hot mess, which is this is what this is at this moment to her, even though she can feel the energy of the angel that's coming through, which is so true. You know, it's like, it's one of the most probably challenging things that is for me to do is to let people see and be vulnerable about the hot mess. But I'm doing it. And that's the thing I try to encourage all the people. And one of the things, if you you decide you want to belong to a community more, is that I want to help you to step in to whatever that thing is that you've been too afraid to go to. And it's a process. It was a process for me to like be willing to start to like do these spirit guides. You know, especially when people wanted a personal spirit guide, I had gotten the download to I'd gotten the download to put on my website about these personal spirit guide portals. And it really scared me, freaked me out, you know, really scared me. And so I put it up on my website. That was the easy part. I thought, okay, I did that. I put it on my website. So I did what I was guided to do. But I never told anybody. You ever done that? Where you just don't tell anybody? So that process of not telling anybody kept me stuck. And so I I had gotten the download and the realization that I was in the closet spiritually and decided that I was going to come out of the closet and had a business training, told everybody about the spirit guide stuff. Didn't think anything of it other than I just came out of the closet and came home from that training, and there was someone, an email telling me, asking me that they wanted a personal spirit guide. I almost fell off my chair. You ever been that way where something happens and you're just like, oh my God, I didn't expect this to happen. So that's what happened. So I know what it's like to do something that you're scared to do. Um, but every great thing in life has had some risk. And the thing about like even this painting, the great thing about it is, the one thing I love about um, oil paints is it's very forgiving. It's one of the reasons what helped me, enabled me to go, okay, I can do this, is that if you make what my ego self thinks is a mistake, which I always tell people there really are no mistakes when you're in your high spiritual soul self. There aren't any. It's just your ego that thinks there's a mistake. Um, you can paint over something. You can make a change. And what I found is even if I paint over something, often that painting over it will show through and actually make the painting even better. It'll like make it like I'll be like, wow, look at that. I didn't know that that was going to add that to it, but it does. And I'll just be like, wow. So um, I want you to adopt that energy. I would say that there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes, especially in art, when you're creating, especially in creativity, because what you think might be a mistake might be leading you to the very thing that you desire, which is what happened when I wanted to buy my house. Okay. So, like I thought, I'm not going to be able to finish this today, but as you can see, it definitely is an angel that's coming through, and it's blessing you. It's wanting you to like take the risk of doing something new and different to help awaken your ability to move forward in your life, to go to that next level of expansion. Because if you're on the spiritual path, you are meant to be growing. You're not meant to be stagnant. You're not meant to be, struggling. You're meant to be happy and fulfilled. It is who you truly are. It is not the person of struggle. That is just the programming. So this is what this spirit guide is wanting me to share with you today, is that it's so important for you to start doing something new and different, and to share it, to give yourself some accountability in the comments if you're watching this video. Okay, so I got to wrap this up because I got to run to something else here in a little bit. But thank you so much for anybody who has watched this video and been on my channel. I truly appreciate it. Appreciate you. If again, you are someone who would like to become part of a membership that wants to help you in spiritual growth, in creativity, and in manifesting what your heart's desire is, please get on my wait list. I plan to launch a membership this year, and I'd love it if you go to deepalu.com/membership waiting list, because I'd love to get to know you better. All right. Because one of the things about the membership, we're going to be doing some things on Zoom where we can actually talk live, as opposed to YouTube. You can only put a comment, or, I can't actually hear you. I look forward to actually hearing your voice and connecting with you more. So we'll love it at that. And also, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing more of these spirit and art times. In fact, I already know the next one that we're going to do, and I'll probably work on finishing up this spirit guide there. All right. Blessings. Have a miraculous day.